Fala, gente! Será que eu devo cortar o meu cabelo, mano? Olha isso. Olha pro meu cabelo nesse exato momento. Não tem nada a ver com o vídeo, mas olha no meu cabelo nesse exato momento e vocês vão decidir. Eu devo cortar o meu cabelo ou devo deixar meu cabelo crescer? Coloca aí nos comentários. Vocês vão decidir o destino do meu cabelo, velho. Enfim, gente, vocês me recomendaram pra mim tá vendo o Alphabet Lore novamente. Dessa vez é a Origins. É Origins Cartoon Animation no canal GameToons. Enfim, rapaziada, vocês pediram pra mim ativar as legendas e ver esse vídeo, que é muito importante pra mim entender um pouco mais. Enfim, rapaziada, bora ver esse vídeo, ver realmente como que tá esse vídeo, que eu não assisti ainda, e bora que bora. E tá caindo meu boné. Bora ver, gente, legendas ativadas, play.
There are many ways to interpret all the letters in the alphabet. For instance, A could stand for apple, an amazing and appetizing treat. B could be for a big beautiful butterfly fluttering through
Borboleta.
the sky.
Que
And
massa.
C could be all sorts of things. Calm,
C.
courageous,
Coisa de calma, ou corajosa, ou covarde,
crazy,
C.
or even cool.
C.
But all too often, D has stood for death.
O quê? Pera aí. Gente, eu tô... Véi, pera aí. Caraca, sério isso? Cara, o D representa a morte, é sério?
Yes, this is a story about the most evil of all the letters. F.
Vocês... Não, eu vou arrumar aqui pra vocês também conseguirem ver aqui as legendas, que eu tô vendo que não tá aparecendo as legendas pra vocês. Enfim, gente, bora começar do zero aqui pra vocês conseguirem acompanhar junto comigo, né, gente? Bora!
There are many ways to interpret all the letters in the alphabet. For instance, A could stand for apple,
Tá,
an
uma
amazing
maçã.
and appetizing treat. B could be for a big beautiful butterfly fluttering through the sky.
Borboleta,
And C could be all sorts of things. Calm,
C.
calma,
courageous,
corajosa,
cowardly,
covarde,
crazy,
C.
or even cool.
C.
olha.
But all too often, D has stood for death.
Nossa, isso que eu peguei de cara, o D representa a morte, velho.
Yes, this is a story about the most evil of all the letters, F, and how it became the villain it is today.
Tá, não é o F, é a F. Se tornou uma vilã, então. Ah, sim, agora, ó.
You see, F had started to attack various, seemingly random letters of the alphabet, picking them off one by one. He started locking up his victims in handcuffs, deep inside the caverns of his mountain fortress. D and E had no idea why they were being
Nossa.
taken captive, but clearly something was wrong with F. He had changed from when they were young, and not for the better. Of course, there were those who looked to end his reign of terror. G called out with his horn to enlist the help of his ABC allies.
Eles se tornaram um
Together,
táxi
they
lá.
formed a cab and swore to track down F to the ends of the earth. But they were too late to save H. His faint, ghostly body faded away like dust in the wind.
Caramba, véi.
And even that was a better fate than that of I. The poor little guy was jumped on and squashed
Nossa.
repeatedly,
Foi esmagado
eventually becoming
rapidamente.
a diabolical weapon used by F against the other alphabet letters.
Gente, isso que eu fiquei me perguntando,
J
que se
was
tornou uma...
incinerated instantly, never to be heard from again.
Nossa.
While K was left in a state of shock, having just witnessed the death of his dearest friend.
Nossa.
But F would have no mercy on him. He forced K to become a set of rapid flapping wings that allowed him to
Nossa,
soar through
forçou
the
o K,
air.
velho.
Meanwhile, G, C,
Virou
A, and
asas.
B drove furiously towards the chaos in order to defeat F and his new unwilling partners. Though, when they finally arrived, they discovered I was too powerful. He charged up an enormous shot, enough to wipe them all from the alphabet for good. G, C, A, and B huddled together, bracing for certain death. Luckily for them, L showed up to save the day just in the nick of time, along with his entire group of superheroes, L, M, N, O, P. You see, they were seen as the protectors of the alphabet. Each of them had a very special gem that gave them immense power. M was able to break K free from F using his super strength, allowing him to fly away to safety.
Caramba.
But the attacks of N and O were much less successful, barely doing any kind of damage.
O F é muito forte,
When it was
velho.
P's turn to attack, everyone was mesmerized, particularly G, who had been in love with her for as long as he could remember. F used the
Nossa,
distraction
a habilidade do P é deixar os outros apaixonados, é isso?
as a chance to steal N's semicolon gem. With his new power in hand, he retreated back to his cavernous lair, locking up I away for good. After losing the semicolon crystal, N became normal once again. Disgusted by his failure, L and O flew away. One letter in particular, Q, frantically crawled towards the other letters. He seemed desperate to tell them something, but his slow, snail-like body never allowed him to fully reach them. It didn't take long for
Coitado
F to
Q.
claim another victim. He attacked R and dragged him back to his fortress with I, E, and D. With F lost again, the others needed direction. The letters M, A, and P came together to form a map for G to track down F's location. He was heading straight for S. Try as they might, the heroes were too late to save S. The letter had been eaten by F, slurped down like a spaghetti noodle.
Caramba!
L and O were the first to arrive. They tried to stop F in his tracks with their magical auras, but F had become too powerful. He easily shrugged off their attacks using the semicolon gem he stole from N earlier, and wasted no time collecting the colon and period gems from L and O. He felt all the force energy of the punctuation crystals flowing through him.
Aí o
Soon,
F ficou apelão.
no one would be
Aí
strong
o
enough
F
to
ficou
defeat him,
apelão.
and his plan would be complete.
Olha
After
isso.
that, F attacked T, smashing him like a hammer into the ground.
Cara, coitado do T.
The other letters tried to stand up to F, but not even M in all his super strength could do any damage to him. F stole M's Kama Crystal.
Nossa.
The only one that stood even the slightest chance was P. She bolted around with supersonic speed, thanks to her exclamation point gem.
Caramba, o P tem uma velocidade supersônica, velho. Caraca.
She was able to land several mighty blows against F, knocking him down to the ground. Still, she was no true match for him. As she charged up her beam attack, F was able to strike her with the Kama Freeze Ray he had just stolen from
isso?
M, leaving her locked
Mano.
in time. F
Olha.
has won. With 4 of the 6 punctuation gems in hand, he possessed abilities no
Aí
other
já era.
letter would dare to
Aí
fight.
ele ficou apelão.
That is, except for C, who had always been brave in the face of danger. Unfortunately, that was his undoing. F viciously attacked C, shredding him like old newspaper. F's work here was done. He flew away with P. The others mourned the loss of their friend C, but realized that if they were to ever defeat F, they would have to get creative. G and M joined forces with U in order to form a weapon. Surely, this would be the answer to all their problems, right?
Gun.
One blast and their nightmare
Forma
could be
uma arma,
all
né?
over. They fired at F just as he
Whoa.
was about to attack V. A direct hit. G, U, and N all rejoice. It was finally over. Until they realized F had more tricks up his sleeve. Somehow, he was able to disguise P as himself.
Cara, que dó.
G
Essa
hadn't
parte
saved the
foi
day.
pesada.
He had shot his love. And with that, a new word inside N's mind is formed. Coward. N thought back to everyone that had died or been captured. How no one was able to save them, including LMNOP, the supposed saviors of this realm. How was he going to stand up to F now? Meanwhile, F went back to his mountain to prepare for the final phase of his evil plan before being stopped in his tracks by
Aí a parte
X.
do
X
do
was
X.
a noble warrior. His beaming asterisk gem glistened in the air. His special power was the ability to clone himself. Identical copies of X started
o
to
X é o
spread out
Naruto,
far
né,
and
velho?
wide, surrounding F in waves. The strategy worked. F was perplexed by the clones. He had no idea where to attack, so he surrendered his gems. Being the chivalrous ninja he was, X obliged and put down his gem as well, revealing the true X. But
Cara do
chivalry
céu.
can also be foolish. Without the element of surprise, X was quickly dispatched by F and his mighty jaws. And with him defeated, F was able to steal his crystal. Now only 1 punctuation gem remained out of his grasp. As Y mourned the loss of X, F began to set his trap. He plopped against the sides of the wall, creating oozing puddles of disgusting black goo. Then he vomited up S, locking him and R in chains alongside I, E, and D. Clearly, he was trying to spell out something. It seemed that F no longer needed the gems. The crystals placed themselves along the path inside the mountain as a sort of trail heading straight for F. The other letters cautiously entered. N, transfixed, started to pick up the gems one by one as his team was slowly picked apart. M, U,
Olha isso.
G, A, all taken away by the gross black darkness spread by F. It seemed as if N would be
Nossa,
next.
coitado do
A
A.
giant set of sharp teeth filled the tunnel like a flood, and N was forced to flee. But instead of killing N, it led him all the way to F's inner sanctum. N wasted no time retrieving the last of the punctuation gems and transforming into his final form, unleashing an attack of rainbow energy directly at F.
Olha isso. Olha isso.
VOLTA! And had done it. He defeated F with the power of love. Or was it
Caraca.
actually the power of evil? As N got closer, he finally realized what F was trying to spell. The word friends. No one knew
Ele estava tentando soletrar a palavra amigos, ninguém sabia.
how or what F was planning, except the wise Q, who had finally managed to catch up to the others. Q explained to everyone the prophecy he had foretold long ago. F and the other letters used to be younger, so young in fact that they were all lowercase, and everyone got along, playing and dancing. That is, of course, until L and O decided to beat up N. L launched O like a slingshot towards the sad little letter and then mocked his insignificance. F, being the good friend he was, decided to pull off a hilarious prank as revenge. He corralled up the letter A, R, and T to help him spell fart. The gross flatulence as a result was loud and stinky enough to be heard throughout the entire alphabet, even killing H. But L and O would not be made fools of. They smacked F around, stomping and squishing him. It was
Nossa.
so sad that the tears F cried became hard and crystallized into the punctuation gems we know today. They pushed F in R-I-C-K to force him to spell one of the only forbidden words in the dictionary. Frick. The other letters were disgusted. How could he? They all teamed up to beat up F even more, punching him around, blasting out his teeth, even tripping him. F continued to cry. His final tear became the question mark crystal, the last gem to be completed. It seemed like no one cared for F anymore, so he ran away to the mountain in
Caraca,
solitude.
véi.
As the years passed, F grew older and more bitter. He became an uppercase letter and started preparing his scheme. Deep down, F wasn't evil. He was just lonely and heartbroken, and wanted nothing more to be loved once again by his old friends. You see, it's important to realize that no one letter is good or bad. They all come together to make something bigger than themselves. An alphabet united can quickly become untied, and real fun so easily turns into funeral. In the end, the alphabet is what you make of it, and some of the deepest wounds can only be cured by time, and some restful sleep.
Caramba, velho. Caramba, velho. Então o F, ele não é mal, ele só queria ter os amigos dele de volta, mano. De verdade, rapaziada. É triste, velho. Triste, triste. Cara, é impactante ali no final ver realmente o F sendo espancado por todo mundo, sendo que ele só queria que todo mundo fosse amigo dele novamente, velho, de verdade. Vou deixar o meu like. E rapaziada, mais uma vez, eu não sei se eu fico feliz ou triste, mas tá aí a animação que vocês pediram pra que eu olhasse pra mim entender melhor um pouco da história realmente, rapaziada. Ainda mais que foi bem explicado, né, bem explicado dessa vez com legendas pra gente ver certinho Alphabet Lore Origens. Tá aí o vídeo que vocês me recomendaram, se vocês curtiram deixa o like, não esquece, se vocês quiserem que recomendar mais vídeos assim pra mim entendendo um pouco mais da história de Alphabet Lore, coloca nos comentários também que é muito importante. Tamo junto, é nóis, até o próximo vídeo, valeu, falou, fui!